Tesa the First Royal University ekubiriza okugoberera amagezi g'abasawo bwe tuba bakuyita mu mbeera eno obulungi. Ssettendekero ejjukiza abayizi n'abazadde nti ewandiika abaagala okujeegattako mu lusoma olutandika mu August. Osobola okugenda ku mutimbagano ku kibanja kya www.mru.ac.ug okumanya ebisomesa ebyenjawulo awamu n'ebisale. So ng'era osobola okujja ku kirebe kyaffe ekikulu ekirumba Masaka oba ku ttabi lyaffe Kakeeka Mengo okumanya ebisingawo. Osobola n'okuba ku masimu gano wammanga Note 756 582 460 ne Note 754 811 368 ne Note 772 876 Tesa the First Royal University lwe lutindo lw'okubuwanguzi.
You are most welcome to the MRU TV. I'm by the names Kauma Muhammad from Vienna High School. We are going to study about IRE, that is 225/1, paper 1. My members, I want you to feel free, ask questions, I'll be able to answer. This is paper 1, the most challenging paper to some, always take it as a challenging one. We shall begin with pre-Islamic Arabia. Then after we shall look at the Prophet Muhammad's life. However, we shall also look at the Muhammad's first experience, as you will see. The pre-Islamic Arabia, there is what I call question boundary. There is what I call question boundary. Meaning that there is a year where there was a question, explain the political. Explain the political and social life of the pre-Islamic Arabia. I just brought this question just to show you what we call the question boundary. The question is limiting us to only political and social, but we are very aware that we are even economic life, we are having the religious life, but the question has a boundary. Now, my dear students, I want to tell you one thing. When you bring economic life, religious life, you will fail the question. Therefore, question boundary. Every question in paper 1 must begin with the introduction. The introduction must be in line with the question asked. Our interest here will be the pre-Islamic Arabia. It was a situation before the coming of Islam in Arabia. It was a period which was referred to as the Jahiliyyah, meaning the age of ignorance, total darkness and barbarism. It was, don't forget to tell the examiner, it was a period before the coming of the last prophet and the revelation of the Quran to guide mankind. Therefore, what is my interest today? Question boundary. There is also another year where they asked a question that described the religious life. This came last year, but the students were even involving political, economic, and social. That meant that student failed. Question boundary. Don't apply what you've not been asked. When you talk about the religious aspect, we expect to talk about Zoroastrianism as a religion, Christianity. They paid zakah, but zakah was paid from the poor to the rich. They carried out pilgrimage, but the pilgrimage was wrongly conducted. They could circumambulate the Kaaba while naked and speaking obscene words. They had no specific month of performing the pilgrimage. You know, we are looking at the religious life. There was Judaism as a religion. We are looking at they were idol worshippers. You see, let the religious aspect remain the religious aspect. When you look at social aspect, we expect you to talk about fornication, polyandry, unnecessary divorce, polygamy, prostitution, and etc. My interest was question boundary. Don't rush to the question. Make sure that at least you identify what you're supposed to include in your conclusion. Here our interest was the pre-Islamic Arabia. And remember, the introduction must have the touching words to embrace the examiner. The examiner are looking at a small thing so that they can deny you a mark. Is your introduction has the touching words? Our touching words, I told you, in pre-Islamic, it was a period before the revelation of the Quran and the coming of the last prophet to guide mankind. Tell the examiner, the period was referred to as the Jahiliyyah period, the age of ignorance, total darkness, and barbarism. Tell the examiner, this was a period that was characterized by political, social, economic, and the religious life. So that my interest was question boundary. Look at this next topic. Prophet Muhammad's early life. Prophet Muhammad's early life came, this question, I remember, when you look at the question bank, it came in 2005. Now, I was so surprised. Last year, you named question paper 1. It was a reflection of 2012. It was a reflection of 2011 and 2010. 60 numbers came out of the way they were. Now just imagine, this was a question of 2005. This is, I saw the paper, the question bank. Please, the Prophet Muhammad's early life, 2005. Now, my dear Candidates, 220, what if you come across the question? Describe the early life of Muhammad up to the time, up to his marriage to Adija. Now, there are two questions I want you to see. 2. Describe or give an account of Muhammad's early life up to the time he received the first revelation. Now, my dear students, this is where we are. I want you to note these two things. Give an account of. There are two. Give an account of, and give an account for. The two confuses the students. Give an account of confuses the student with give an account for. Whenever you hear the word give an account for, that takes us to a description. Those are storytelling numbers. Description. You must describe. You must describe. This takes us to description. You must describe. When you hear the word give an account for, basically reasons. And when you look at the papers nowadays, that is the language they use. Give an account of, give an account for. Look at these two questions. Describe the early life of Muhammad up to his marriage to Adija. Question has a boundary. Question is limiting us. This one, describe Muhammad's early life up to the time of the revelation. The question has no boundary. Now, what are you supposed to say here? You must learn how to present your views in the form of paragraph. You avoid numbering the points. Avoid underlining them. You get? Therefore, you must present your points in paragraph. What are you supposed to say? 1. Muhammad was born on 12th Rabiul Awwal 570, the year of elephant, in the Banu Hashim clan, the tribe of the Quraysh. The clan was Banu Hashim. The tribe was Quraysh. You normally confuse the two. He was born in 570, tell the examiner, the year of elephant, in the Banu Hashim clan, the tribe of the Quraysh. Tell the examiner. His father was Abdullah, who died 4 months before Muhammad was born. The mother was Amina. Very interesting story. By the time he was born, the father had passed away. Therefore, he did not see his father. It was a culture amongst the Quraysh Meccan. Whenever a baby was born, it was not supposed to be breastfed by a biological parent. At this time, they started looking for another mother to breastfeed Muhammad. Alima was got. Alima was the foster mother. Therefore, she was got. But Alima first hesitated because Muhammad was coming from a poor family. She hesitated for a while. Tell the examiner, Alima's animals were not even producing enough milk. But after accepting Muhammad, they started producing enough milk. Therefore, Alima eventually accepted to take up Muhammad. And the animals started even producing enough milk. Tell the examiner, Muhammad Wairo at Alima's place, he was visited by the angel, and the angel made a serious operation on him. Tell the examiner that getting to 6 years, the man was returned to his mother, who died after a few months later. You tell the examiner, then the responsibility was taken up by his grandfather. The grandfather was Abdul Muttalib. Abdul Muttalib, while the uncle was Abu Talib. There is a difference. The uncle. The grandfather, when the mother died, Muhammad became a real orphan. Remember, he had lost the father. Now the mother died. He became a real orphan. Then the responsibility was taken up by his grandfather. I want to tell you, my dear students, after 2 years, the grandfather died. Muhammad was by then 80 years. The responsibility now was taken up by his uncle. Tell the examiner, he was a trader by profession. He used to teach this younger boy how to trade. One day, as they were going to a certain trading trip, they met a Quraysh monk by the name called Bukayr. He looked at Muhammad and identified some signs in him of being a prophet, and advised the uncle to keep him away, because when the Jews discover this, they may end up killing such a man. You see how the story is interesting? Be so keen with the storytelling numbers. The question is telling us up to his marriage to Adija. Tell the examiner, because of Muhammad's good character and fairness in trade dealings, Adija came to know about Muhammad. Tell the examiner, Adija employed Muhammad on her caravan to Syria. Tell the examiner, Muhammad coming back registered a lot of profits that Adija had never registered. My dear students, Adija was so happy. Do you know what she did? She proposed the marriage. Muhammad had any consultant, could not consult a father or a mother because they had passed away. The only person that could consult was the uncle. Muhammad went to his uncle. He made some consultations. The uncle gave him a go-ahead. The uncle gave him a go-ahead. After the uncle giving him a go-ahead, marriage ceremony was conducted. I want to tell you, they lived in a happy life. They were blessed with 6 children. The 2 were boys. Tell the examiner. The 6 were girls. The boys were Abdallah and Qasim. The girls were Kulthum, Ruqayya, Zainab, and Fatima. Unfortunately, tell the examiner, my dear student, unfortunately, all children died. Apart from one girl, Fatima, who survived up to the death of his father, Muhammad, and later got married to Ali, who was calling Prophet Muhammad a cousin. And that, tell the examiner, that marked the end of Muhammad's early life. Do you know how many points you are scoring here? 25. You see? You see how interesting the story is? But remember, the question was describe. Now that is another format. The other format is give an account of. They may tell you the biography, early life. Therefore, my dear members, we are going to see Muhammad's experience in the cave of Hira. Muhammad's experience in the cave of Hira is not as the same as the private call. Students normally confuse the two. How are we supposed to face the question? Look what the phasement of the question. Describe. They can even say, give an account. You know, nowadays they say, give an account of. Remember two things. Give an account of, description. Give an account for, reasons. Now remember, nowadays, storytelling numbers are commonly said. Give an account of Muhammad's experience. Muhammad's first experience. First experience in the cave of Hira. Now, whenever they bring this question, students normally give private call. It is today that I want to differentiate for you this topic of Muhammad's experience with the private call. They are not the same. Muhammad's experience, what are you supposed to tell the examiner? Tell the examiner, Muhammad was tired of the pre-Islamic practices. Therefore, he decided to isolate himself and went to desert, thinking about how to end the pre-Islamic practices. Second, he tells the examiner, while in the desert area, Khadija used to bring some necessities like food. Tell the examiner, one day as he was in the cave of Hira, he was abruptly visited by the angel. Tell the examiner, the angel came in the form of light. Muhammad was so scared. The angel called Muhammad's name. Muhammad, read. What shall I read? Are you where Muhammad was illiterate that could not read? The angel repeated it 3 times, but Muhammad with the same answer, what shall I read? To the extent that the angel even squeezed Muhammad's ribs to the extent that they crossed one another, met each other. But Muhammad kept on saying, what shall I read? The angel said, read in the name of your Lord, who created a man from the clot of blood and taught him what he knew not. This was evidence in Quran chapter 96, verse 1 to 5. Eventually, Muhammad was miraculously able to read. Muhammad miraculously read. We are using the word miraculously simply because he was illiterate. You got the touching words we are looking for. Was miraculously able to read. And thereafter, after Muhammad reading, the angel introduced it so. That was the angel Jibril. Muhammad was the messenger. My dear students, I want to tell you, Muhammad went to Adija. Muhammad going to Adija was very scared. Tell the examiner, he did not narrate the story, but only requested to cover him. Then waking up, he narrated the story. Adija promised to take him to a cousin. The name of the cousin was Waraka bin Nawfal. This person was very, very experienced in interpreting such experience. Therefore, he interpreted that as some of the signs of Muhammad to become the prophet. And that is how Muhammad's first experience in the cave of Hira went on. Therefore, you will get your 25 marks. Do you see any private call there? It is not the private call. Private call, for the private call has its beginning. Private call, Muhammad went back in the desert area for the second time. This was the first time. That's why we say Muhammad's first experience. Now, private call, this was the second time that is going back. This takes me to another topic, the private call. Muhammad went back in the desert area, wondering still again how to end the pre-Islamic practices. Again, the angel appeared to him. The man today was very scared. He went to Adija. It instructed Adijah to cover him. No sooner had he been covered than the angel reappeared again. The angel said, "Oh, you lie covered in the piece of cloth, arise and warn." This was evidence in Quran chapter 74, verse 1 to 5, verse 1 to 7. In this, he was told to preach Islam privately. That's why we call it a secret call. That's a private call. The first Muslim lady to convert to Islam was Khadija. Stood firm and declared herself a Muslim. The second person was Ali. Now just imagine, my dear students, at the age of 10 years. The third person was the prophet's slave servant, Zaid bin Alif. And the fourth person was the prophet's closest friend, Abu Bakr. To the examine about other converts. Other converts included 1. Zubair bin Awam, Talha bin Ubaidullah, Saad bin Abi Waqas, Abdurrahman bin Affan, Abdurrahman bin Marwan, and Uthman bin Affan also. Together with, in amongst the ready, we had Fatima. And at the end of it all, therefore, that marked the end of the private. At the end of it all, we registered a good number of Muslims who had converted to Islam. Therefore, members, this marked the end of the private call, and that is the reason as why it was called a private call. With this, I hope we shall have a commercial break, and we continue from here on the public call. We want to see what came next, which events was in the public call, what was in the public call, and why is it called a public call. I wish you the best. We meet in the second session.
Tesa the First Royal University ekubiriza okugoberera amagezi g'abasawo bwe tuba bakuyita mu mbeera eno obulungi. Ssettendekero ejjukiza abayizi n'abazadde nti ewandiika abaagala okugyegattako mu lusoma olutandika mu August. Osobola okugenda ku mutimbagano ku kibanja kya www.mru.ac.ug okumanya ebisomesa ebyenjawulo awamu n'ebisale. So ng'era osobola okujja ku kirebe kyaffe ekikulu ekirumba Masaka oba ku ttabi lyaffe Kakeeka Mengo okumanya ebisingawo. Osobola n'okuba ku masimu gano wammanga Note 756 582 460 ne Note 754 811 368 ne Note 772 876 378. Tesa the First Royal University lwe lutindo lw'okubuwanguzi.